All right. Hello. Good afternoon, everybody. Good morning and good evening, depending where you are in the world. Welcome to the webinar. This is going to be a webinar about the ultimate ad management SaaS platform for publishers. Yeah. My name's Ollie Olak. I'm the CRO of Opti Digital. I've had over 10 plus years of industry experience with a big emphasis on publisher side focus and publisher development.
And I am Sebastian Mout. I'm the Chief Strategy Officer at Opti Digital and also one of the co-founder. And I'm allocating a lot of time having discussion with our publishers and publishers from the industry about the challenges they are facing. I'm also allocating a lot of time with our product engineering team, working on innovations that are designed to solve these challenges.
Yeah, Seb is definitely our ad tech guru. Okay, I'm going to give it a few more minutes to see how many people connect, and then we can kick off. Let's see who we got. Yep. We've got a few friendly names in it. Hey, Hassan, how are you? We have people, yeah, nice spread from all over the globe. Very nice indeed. All right. So we'll give it a little bit more time and then we'll start. Okay. Room's filling up. Right then, shall we kick off by doing the agenda? Okay. So what are we going to talk about today? We're going to start off by talking about the publishers' challenges of 2025. Some of you may have already attended our previous webinar at the beginning of the year where we did a very large study on the trends about what is the wants and needs of publishers and the concerns of publishers. So we'll get into that a little bit. And then we're going to introduce the Ad Manager Hub, which is our SaaS platform. After that, we're going to do a case study and we'll talk about a specific publisher that is using the product and the results that they've achieved. Yeah. And then also, all of you that are logged in, please do stay till the end of the webinar, because if you do hang around, there will be a special prize, and I'm sure all of you would want to know exactly what that is. And it's a good prize, and it will allow you guys to just hang around and we'll have a look. Yeah? Okay. So let's get started. Let's talk about the publisher challenges in the ad ecosystem. So what have we seen? We did a study, as I mentioned, in January 2025, where we surveyed over 1,500 online content readers, and we found that there were three key pillars. Trust and quality first. Yeah. Experience matters. And ad preferences vary. So what the readers were telling us was that 45% of people prioritize trustworthiness when selecting their media platforms, and 30% of them value high quality content. User experience matters. So 60% abandon slow loading websites. So we all, as publishers, can understand that if a page or a site is loading really, really slowly, people tend to walk away or move away or find faster loading content. And finally, ad preferences vary. Up to 60% of people find animated ads more appealing, whereas 40% consider minimal ad layer important. And you can see that there's a difference there. So some people are placing, depending on the content that they're reading, will have a different emphasis of what they require. Seb, what did you make of these findings from our research? Well,
I believe this is very interesting and relevant to the current context. I mean, as usual and forever, I mean, the content is king. That's a rule. That's what creates the media trust, the media bond, really. What really, I think, in the current context, with the rise of generative AI and the search engine that are also delivering content and summary of content from the search engine directly, generally without any ads, it's very important that the brands that are delivering the original content also focus on the user experience. That's really matters. Is very important, and we can see actually that users actually they know they have to do with ads. This is the monetization, the main source of revenue for the publishers. But then they have some preference, some expectation, and having ads that are actually animating and delivering something new on a new experience is interesting for them from the study. but it's very important to control the overall experience that the ads are delivering and generating on the user, so it doesn't impact the navigation and how the user can consume the content easily.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, I think you make a really good point, especially, the threat of AI generated content from search engines, that could actually potentially drive readers and people that absorb and digest the content away from the page, especially if it's slow loading or has a really poor user experience, right?
Mm.
Okay. So let's move on to the study's findings about publisher concerns. So revenue and CPM decline, audience loss due to a heavy ad stack, and limited autonomy and operational complexity. There's a few big hitters in here. So obviously, MFA and that trade-off between money and user experience. Seb, what's your thoughts on these three concerns that publishers have and what you've come across when speaking to publishers?
Yeah, well, we hear a lot about concerns regarding the revenue, the budget, the fill rates, and the CPM that are declining. I mean, MFA sites and the way they drain budget is a problem for sure. It's trying to be solved, but I mean, it's still existing definitively. But I mean, also the balance you do between monetization and user experience. I mean, you have to make some choice. I mean, depending on the level of refresh that you do and what is the level of pressure of advertising you set, I mean, you cannot expect the same CPM. So the risk is that with the decreasing CPM, the risk might be to choose the easy solution of adding more pressure or accelerating the volume of refresh, which will actually make the thing worse. And it's challenging to find the right solution to go back qualitative and make sure you can reach again the deliver the quality that advertiser will pay for.
Right. Okay. And what about this point about heavy ad stacks? We're seeing that a lot more in the ecosystem these days. What is your opinion on this?
Well, that's a reality, definitively. I mean, we know that many publishers, or not to say most of the publishers, are concerned by the performance of their website and the way they deliver content. Their product team are making a lot of efforts to make sure that the site is handled by a robust infrastructure and is designed correctly regarding the web standards to deliver a good experience. But and actually, if you disable third-party components like widgets and also the advertising from this side, they are very fast and they deliver a completely different user experience. So it's a problem that the ads stack are actually slowing down the site and deteriorating that much the user experience. So that's the main concern, and we hear a lot about publishers' concern and looking for solutions.
Yeah, of course. And as we've highlighted, the importance of people to have, green core web vitals really important these days, and the effects that these have on.
We have been challenged a lot in the last years with publishers making sure they want to reach the green part of the core advertising.
Yeah, cool. All right, and this final point, limited autonomy and operational complexity. I kind of feel that, the market has kind of gone full circle from people wanting to be fully managed service and then trying to take control of everything and then talking to multiple external vendors. And now it's almost like a cycling back again. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, the reality is that there are many different vendors and many different solutions that you have to integrate in your platform, in your ad stack, if you want to be covering and have a complete and robust monetization. The complexity is to make decisions on how to which partner is actually creating value and to integrate them properly, seamlessly, so they all coordinate and speak to each other efficiently. Right. And more partner you have, more it's challenging actually to have internal team from a publisher managing this and while not being an expert of all this technology.
Yeah, and I think also it's fair to comment that what we're seeing in the publisher landscape at the moment is that teams are becoming more streamlined and more efficient. So there is obviously now this lack of internal resource as well in order to manage all of these vendors, right? Yeah. Okay. So I want to ask the audience a question. So guys, I'm going to ask you about this poll. How many ad tech tools do you work with to manage the ad inventory? So let me just launch the poll, and it'd be great to get your answers and your feedback. So Seb, what are we talking about when we say
Yeah, first, I
set
think it's
tools.
important to say that if people want to participate to the poll, they have to go into the three dots and in the poll sections to give their vote. And yes, to answer your question, I mean, the when we talk about vendors that are actually that must be integrating for robust ad stack, we are talking about everything which is from the ad server itself, the technology that are to capture the consent, so CMPs, any solution that is helping you reinforce the addressability of the user, so
Right.
identity solutions, DMPs, CDPs, and also all the demand partners that you want to call during the auctions and you want them to participate to enrich your monetization.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we've got some results in. So we have 44% saying 1 to 10 ad tech vendors, and then we have 33% saying 31 to 50 ad tech vendors. And we have 11% saying 11 to 30. So somewhere between 11 to 50 ad tech vendors is more than half the majority. So actually, yeah, it's a 50-50 split. So what do you make of that?
That's a reality. That's what makes the ad stack so complex to manage.
Yeah, it gets quite heavy, right? Okay, so that's the findings from the studies and the trends. So let's talk a little bit about the Ad Manager Hub and the SaaS platform. Let's talk about it. Let's explain the functionality and the tools and everything that comes with it, and that people can get an idea of what it does. So, Seb, over to you. What is this SaaS platform? How does it empower publishers?
Yeah, so I think it's important to explain that this Ad Manager Hub that we've built it to fill the needs of our team that used to manage publisher configuration in a managed way at the beginning for many years and many sites to manage for our team.
So it was actually a tool that we developed internally that we've now garnered it and grown it and been able to make it into a platform that publishers can use themselves, right?
Correct. So, I mean, and the main objective was our team was to help our team to streamline all the operations, all the action and the optimization that they were planning with their publishers to improve the ad stack progressively. So one of the key objectives is to be able to save time and also to work in a robust environment where you when you deploy something new, you have control over it and it avoids any mistakes, because if you do many things you could provide mistakes, so it's safe to deploy configuration, to test things, and to be agile in controlling and optimizing a stack without involving the product team that is behind the media, the website, right? So that was one of the important challenges to make the platform easy to use and fast to deploy configuration. And then obviously, I mean, it's designed to handle and optimize all the elements that are actually creating the KPIs that are very important for your advertisers to perform and to buy your traffic at a good price, and to find quality in your inventory. So thinking about programmatic and all the open ocean, but obviously also and most importantly the direct demand of the publishers that requires specific qualitative, viewability, CTR that are key. So the platform will help in building all this, generating the right inventory with qualitative attributes, and obviously it comes to the demand. So managing once we have this qualitative inventory, I mean, you want to sell it efficiency, so you have to be able to manage the different partners that will be involved in the auction, in the monetization, make sure they are correctly selected, make sure you can evaluate their performance. So this is answering this problematic and help the team to manage that. And obviously, in the last years, while the concerns about user experience were raising more and more, I mean, we have been focusing a lot on also introducing solutions that will help doing all these 3 points that we just mentioned, while maintaining a very light and fast solution that will not impact negatively your core advertisers and that will not impact negatively the user experience that readers will have while consuming the content of the publisher.
Yeah. All right. No, thank you. I think talking to publishers over the past, 6 to 12 months about this, and now getting their feedback when they're using Ad Manager Hub, there's two things that come home and say to me is the fact that people now have the ability, rather than sitting there and doing and spending a lot of time on, the mundane activities of manual ad ops, The tool and the platform itself allows people to spend more time on what they should be doing, which is gaining efficiencies and understanding via A/B testing how to do actual genuine RevOps, revenue operations, which is really important. And something else that you've highlighted and you mentioned again, which comes back time and time again, is the ability of the actual platform to not just focus only on the programmatic, but to actually exert the influence and the efficiencies that we're talking about also on the direct demand that comes in as well. So yeah, it's those 2 points are the ones that sit with me and the ones that resonate and come back to me time and time again. All right. So let's talk about the ad stack and how we can cover the publisher specific needs.
Yeah, so if we look at the global picture on the of the platform, let's say it's split into 3 main components. The first one is about integration and user experience and ads behavior, which is the tag management. So this solution will help actually integrate easily the advertising within the website and the publisher environment. Would it be a web environment for display or video? Will it be mobile application or MP traffic, for instance?
Right.
So it makes it easy and you have control over it. But then it will be depending of the context. You might have control of more things. But the objective is that globally, I mean, you will have a capacity to manage the ad layout, where the ads are located, optimize them, run A/B test on it, control the loading of the ad. Is it on page load? Is it lazy loaded? How is it lazy loaded? All these are very important and fully in the tag management part. The refresh also, obviously, and also it will also help publishers to make the right decision and to dynamically use the right ad serving and programmatic configuration according to the consent given by the user, which is very essential and important in Europe, in some states, also in the US. So make sure that everything is ready. And also the one thing that is important is that, I mean, the platform is designed to be compatible with everything. So there are things that are natively implemented, but I mean, if tomorrow something new, because the market is very dynamic, something new is coming, a new adapter, a new solution that requires some custom configuration, then we have a way to integrate custom JavaScripts and to make custom configuration to adapt to something new that is not fully natively implemented in the platform. Because that's being agile, that's very important.
Yeah, I think I think you've nailed that. And my point here is the fact that we're able to be omni-channel, display native video and app, all from the platform is quite an important tool. And also, the server-side calls and how we can do the dynamic session and all the different other features that we have. But also, you mentioned about the consentless ad server. So the ability to run this ad server on unconsented traffic, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so the second component is all about auctions, right? The first part is we deliver the ads, we position them correctly, we load them at the right time. And the second component is really, okay, how now do I make sure that every single ad request that is generated by the tags will actually worth the best money I can now. So we will be making sure that the solution is actually agile in selecting if you want to run an auction server side or client side. One thing that is very important at the auction level also is to run your auction with the right price floor. So we in this case we have two different solutions. One is first that to help the publisher define a global strategy regarding their own strategy of flowing. So you can define a flow that will be actually not only set up in GAM but globally to all the partners involved. Would it be Amazon or the private partners and Google, etc. Everything will be under the same flow, which is fair and it's very important. And then on top of that, I mean, we have a product, a system that is providing dynamic flowing that will actually help me much more granular and much more dynamic in the way the flows are managed. On top of the flows that you have defined, it will actually look for the flow that is optimal to generate best revenue from the auction.
Yeah. So this final point is about actionable insights, and it just tells us that there's a lot of data that is available through our platform. So what are the key points to take away here?
Yeah, I think the solution is designed to be data driven. So I mean, some elements like are used for machine learning, like dynamic pricing, but also some insights are here to make help people controlling, people using the platform, making the right decision over their configuration. So you can identify quickly, thanks to the actionable insights, what are the weaknesses in the implementation. Would it be at the pure eCPM fill rate level? So you will see with a lot of different dimensions how to analyze your fill rate and your performance over the different traffic and position that you have. You will have real-time statistics about how the day is performing with the different type of demand. Obviously, something important also is to have capacity to do A/B testing. So when you test a partner or a solution, an identity solution, you will actually decide to run it through an A/B test, and so you can see what is the impact of this solution over the reference configuration. And something that is actually not that common in the dashboarding in the market is that we're also creating a link between the advertising and the audience analytics and content from the websites. So we will be able to measure what is the ad density for every single page template for the different articles, and it will help optimizing and making sure that where the traffic is in terms of audience, the ads are correctly set up, and the KPIs are good for this page specifically, because that's the page that matters today that is receiving traffic.
Yeah, okay. No, thank you. So when I'm talking to publishers, and initially we had Adam and Job, I really had fun describing it, because the importance was to explain to people it wasn't just a wrapper. It's not just some header bidding wrapping solution. It has all this functionality and capability. And when the way that you've described it, the tag management, what we can do at auction level, and the amount of data and insights we give people, it just shows you just how vast and diverse a platform it really is. And with that, I just want to highlight some key findings. So with Ad Manager Hub, ads load 2 times as fast as any benchmark, which is also always great for user experience protecting SEO. We exert an influence over both programmatic and direct sales because of the optimization we can do via the Light Ad Stack. And we can monetize ads across all audiences, as we mentioned before, even consentless inventories. Yeah, okay. So let's move on. Let's talk about maximizing revenues with intelligent ad optimization. What do we mean here?
Yeah, so we want to push some highlights on what are the key features that will help on maximizing the revenue. One of them, we had a brief introduction to it in the slide before. It's about the prediction of the floors. What is the right price floor to apply in every single ad request? That's very important. I mean, it's very complex today. The market of programmatic demand is so complex, the way they buy. I mean, it's important to make sure that in each different context where they will have a different value, and so the floors could be unique to this specific context, with a predictive model and also a reactive model that will adapt according to the results, according to seasonality and a lot of criteria. So this is creating up to plus 20%, plus 22% revenue uplift on some publisher. That's really important and important component.
So with this product, with this tool, what you're actually able to do, from what my understanding is, you can have like a default floor price setting. You can have one for geo-specific, URL-specific, even browser-specific. You can actually break it out and set global rules depending on your results of your A/B testing, and actually set them as just a benchmark setup, correct?
Yeah, there are some rules that we can define through the platforms, and next the models will actually work from it and test things according to the configuration that you do, and explore what floors could actually improve the performance.
Yeah, okay. Tell us a bit about hybrid header bidding.
Yeah, so this is a solution also that is integrated in the platform. I mean, there is no need of third-party component or services to do that. I mean, within the platform, when you set up a bidder, demand partner, you can decide to run it either client side or server side. So that's a solution that helps really administrate and run A/B test. Potentially, you want to move some bidders server side. You are not sure if it will have an impact because their cookie sync might not be optimal. Then you can A/B test that and see what is their performance server side again in client side. But most importantly, also we have some specific integration that will leverage server side on specific context to go much faster. I think we will have some time to talk about it after.
Okay. And what about first-party data and identity solutions?
Well, this is key. This is still a very important topic. Obviously, I mean, cookies are deprecating progressively. There are some browsers without any cookies already, and I mean, the situation in Chrome is stable for now, but still, I mean, there is already a lot of users and page views that are not addressable with cookies. So this is an important integration. I mean, so the platform really integrates the different solutions seamlessly. It helps also in capturing and building a strategy of first-party data. And as a solution that is within the platform, it becomes testable, and you can measure the impact of the different solutions. So it really helps on making the decision of what is the most efficient identity solution for the different publishers, depending of your context, depending of the data you have to feed them. And so we've seen some important revenue lift by A/B testing this solution. I think the A/B test here was about one of the ideas was deployed on just a basic ID, like it was a testing share ID on a specific publisher. I was not sure about the uplift, and we saw directly an uplift from non-cookieless browsers, providing a plus 5% revenue lift overall.
Yeah, I remember we did a whole load of work on this when we thought Google was going to sunset the cookie, and we did a whole lot of ID testing. So yeah, people and publishers would have the ability to continue to carry that out. Now, this next point is also quite up for debate and is something that is hot topic at the moment: traffic shaping and SPO.
Yeah, I mean, SPO is an important topic, and it's very trendy. I mean, publishers, and they are right. I mean, it's important to make the choice between the different partners you work with. So as we explained a bit before, I mean, the platform is redesigned for that. So it's easy to make decisions on what are the platform and the partners that are actually bringing value to your inventory. So it helps really on implementing a strategy and progressively select the partners. Would it be direct partners or reseller partners with specific incremental value? You can select them, and you can measure what are how they impact globally your performance, and you can measure different groups with and without them to make the right decisions. And obviously, traffic shaping is also something we do to optimize and make sure that we don't send requests to partners and bidders that are not likely to respond, because these partners specifically will never respond on requests that are coming from cookieless environment or whatever is the context, right? So it's helping actually reducing the number of requests you send to the partner, which is automatically increasing the ROI of this partner with your traffic. So they are more likely to engage with your traffic and to avoid throttling your traffic when you connect them to your inventory.
Yeah, I think publishers are placing such a high focus nowadays on page RPM, right? Yeah. Okay, so let's look at the next thing. Let's look at streamlining the ad set for better UX and how to boost traffic. What do we have? We have a fast and lightweight ad stack package. What do we mean by that, Seb?
Well, this is a point where we have as I explained before, we have the support of hybrid integration for server-side or client-side. That's something configurable from the platform, depending on different strategies.
How does that work?
Well, this mode is just you select from the platform server-side or client-side. But we have a mode that is the very light mode. We call it the light package because it will involve a very light package that will actually focus and leverage at the maximum server-side implementation for header bidding and moving some other complexity on the server side. And it's really helping reducing all the actions that are happening on the client side, and it's critical for the page load. So we have this strategy specifically when we are loading ads that are visible on the first page load and the first viewport, then we will be using mainly the server-side auctions and the server-side operations to accelerate by 2 or more sometimes the speed at which we can actually deliver the first ad on the page. And obviously the impact is very big. I mean, because when you divide by 2 the time to display the first ad, you increase a lot the viewability.
Exactly.
You deliver more ads by page, you get more chance to get clicks on your demand deliver on this position. Would it be programmatic open auction or your direct campaigns with your advertisers? So it includes viewability and all these KPIs.
Okay. And smart ad rendering and lazy loading.
Yeah. So there's different way to do lazy loading and to distribute the ad on page. So as I said, I mean, you might have a different logic depending of if the ad is directly visible to the user or if it's below the fold after the user engaging with the content and scrolling within the article or the content you are providing. So it's very important that the lazy loading and we can see here on the platform some screenshots that tests have been done, and when you can define a strategy of ad loading that is really aligned to where the ads in the content and the way your users are consuming the content, and so you improve the viewability and you reduce the impact on the core web vitals.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And I know we've kind of touched upon this, but server-side optimizations, we're seeing so many publishers these days that, you know, when you ask them how they set up, they say, we're really fully loaded client-side. We haven't really engaged server-side, but we would like to get a mix of both and try and move partners server-side. What is it that we can do for publishers here?
Well, simplifying the work and benefiting from the experience. I remember, I mean, when we started with the server-side auctions, I mean, like many providers or people testing it, I mean, sometimes you will see at the beginning lower performance because you need to fine-tune all these integrations, and I mean, you have to make sure that the performance and will be as good as it will be on the client side. So you can really leverage from the benefits of the speed and the reducing the latency while not compromising your revenue.
Okay, makes sense. So let's talk about the data, because again, when talking to publishers and we're able to showcase the level of data that we can actually provide them and the insights that they can take from it, you know, prime example, just to give an anecdote here is that, you know, when talking to specific types of publishers, especially within news or big editorial, when you can actually show them the insights, audience insights, it makes a big deal to them. It's not just about the revenue that can be done, but it gives editorial a big play as well in how things are shaped. But we can do a wide variety of data provision and provide wide variety of insights. So campaign performance, the inventory distribution, real-time performance, and a real-time traffic and ad monitoring, web performance, consent analytics, ad density you mentioned, and A/B tests and results. There's a plethora of information that we can give to publishers from our platform where they don't need to go to multiple sources to receive it. So just to touch on that, just to talk about the key takeaways here, and what are your thoughts on them?
Yeah, so I mean, would it be a demand partner or any provider that you integrate in your ad stack? I mean, one of the key takeaway from this dashboard is that you are able to evaluate the impact. We are able to evaluate the incremental value created by your partner, and that's really important because then you can progress iteratively, step by step. Because you know your decision is right and you have the right data to make it. Yeah. You can progress and you go faster in optimizing your setup. Then. Yeah, you were talking about the audience analytics that we have integrated in our dashboard. It's not common for statistics about advertising, but it's very important. And this is actually not the objective. Is not to replace the audience analytics or analytics of the publisher. That's not the objective. The objective is to create the bridge between your traffic, your audience. So typically, you can see in which article, what are the top 10 articles where the traffic is today, and make sure that we link there the data regarding advertising, and make sure these articles are actually correctly monetized, and they have the right ad density, they have the right eCPM and the right fill rates. And you can, if it's not the case, that you can try to evaluate, analyze, and deep dive into the data to understand why and optimize it. Well, if you can, just for now, for the real time, like we do in SaaS, but also for the coming the next article that will actually boom your traffic.
Yeah, insightful data that people can then go and make decisions on, can go A/B test against, improve efficiencies, and to increase revenue. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, and while we've talked a lot about also web performances and the importance of user experience, so we obviously implement a solution with the tags to improve that. But we are also we improve that thanks to the capacity of measuring. So we have built a dashboard here where you can see the ad speed and the core web vitals, and you can see when you do a change, if you introduce a new third-party vendor through a custom integration with the platform, you can see if it's having a negative impact on your on your web performance, on your core web vitals. And you don't want that. So you can, or you push it and you measure it, and you could revert if it's not going well, or you can just A/B test it and compare with the partner, without the partner, and make the right decision, not only regarding monetization but also regarding the impact on the core web vitals.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so as per the agenda, just to finish up, I'd like to bring in a case study. So we've been working with The Objective, which is one of the fastest growing media outlets in Spain over the last few years. It's increased its audience by 26.5% and growth in its networks in up to 60% in 2024. And just to give you a bit of context about how we were working with them, they were looking for a partner that would provide a flexible and agile solution to help with their programmatic monetizations and to streamline their operations. And the results after 6 months were a return on investment of over 400%, an uplift in revenue of 76%, monthly adults time saved 6 days, well over 25%. And then, of course, because of the technologies, a speed load that was 2 times faster. And the director of programmatic was kind enough to provide these words. He said that the platform ensures full control, transparency, and flexibility on inventory management for both direct and programmatic deals, and it's an essential tool for any publisher. So you must have been involved in the onboarding of this client. What are your thoughts and feedbacks, and what were we able to do here?
Yeah, well, I mean, I remember that these good results are actually the result of different features that we've discussed about the platform regarding typically making sure you have the right competition and a very strong setup regarding your demand partner. It's helping definitively increasing, it helped a lot improving the fill rate, and having the right KPIs also improve the fill rate and the CPMs that are driving more revenue. But also, I mean, definitively the speed. We were able to improve the viewability thanks to ads deliver much faster, and the publisher, I remember, was very happy about the new experience delivered by the solution.
Okay, thank you. So, thank you for all staying to the end. So, here is the special prize. We are offering a 1-month free trial of Ad Manager Hub, and we would ask for all of you guys that are interested to let us know, either via the email that you see on the screen, or you guys can directly reach out to myself or Seb or anybody, if you know anybody within our team, and we'll be happy for you to test drive the product and to see the results and the performance for yourself. So yeah, a 1-month free trial. Please do take our offer up and make sure that you guys register your interest and try using the platform. Cool. So we've got a little bit of time now for questions and answers. So let's have a look at some of the questions that have come in. So, question for you, Seb. How long does it take to get started with Ad Manager Hub?
Well, it depends really on the publisher requirements, and but I mean, for us to create configuration is between 2 weeks. 2 weeks to prepare a configuration, and to depend on how many sites you want to migrate, obviously. But I mean, to prepare the configuration, adapt it, and help the publisher to at the beginning to do the initial configuration.
Okay, so 2 weeks is pretty quick, pretty rapid. Is it possible to integrate some ad units only on specific pages, like the homepage?
It is possible. It is possible to integrate one ad unit. The thing is that if you integrate only one ad with the platform, what you will not be able to benefit from the lighter package and reducing your core web vitals, because you will be adding something new to the site instead of replacing the full ad management solution. So, I mean, it won't impact negatively your core web vitals because the solution is very light and it doesn't impact it, but it will not help the publisher to go back in the green regarding core web vitals and the search consoles.
Okay. We just got a few more questions coming in. Okay, how does the platform help streamline demand sources and reduce inefficiencies in the supply chain? So, kind of going back to a bit of the SPO sort of themed questions.
Yeah, so by the analytics and the capacity to configure, I mean, you are fairly quickly doing A/B tests and evaluating the value of every single partner you work with. So we really recommend testing and challenging the configuration using the platform. So it could be through an A/B test or yeah, that's what we recommend. So you will be able to measure the impact and progressively improve the demand partners configuration.
Okay, just trying to keep an eye on the time. All right, I think that's all of the main ones that have come in. Let's see if there's any more that we can look at. So, okay, I think we're good. I think we're okay. So, just to finish off again, thank you to all of you that have attended. We appreciate it. We'll be providing the slides and a product one-pager to all of your email addresses after the webinar. Here on the screen, you can see both my details and Sebastian's details. Please do feel free to reach out to either of us or the other emails on the screen or anybody else within the team. We'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. We'll be happy for you to trial it, or even if you are looking for a demo, we are happy to jump on a call and demo the product with you as well. Sebastian, any final comments or thoughts?
Oh, thank you everybody for your attention. I'm very happy to have a chat together.
Yeah, all right.
Platform.
Yeah, all right. Well, thank you again, everyone, for attending, and until the next webinar. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.